The El Paso shooting suspect appears to have posted on a controversial message board known as 8chan. Our investigative team today getting some perspective from a man who is studying mass shootings about why he feels that these suspects are showing signs of a bigger issue. Was the El Paso shooting a lone wolf or something more organized? There's a growing number of people who are studying mass shootings who say homegrown extremists, well, they're actually showing some of the same organizational skills as well-known terror groups like ISIS or Al-Qaeda. Investigative reporter Jace Larson went to Mexico City, the country where the El Paso shooter directed so much anger. And Jace spoke with a man who says that we're underestimating white nationalism and introduces us to the 8chan website where extremists interact.
There is a single little-known website that may be partly responsible for some of these mass shootings. In at least 3 of the mass shootings, the shooters went on the website and interacted with other extremists before they went on their rampage.
This guy might not look
My name's Robert Evans.
like an expert in homegrown extremists, but his world travel schedule sure does back that up. 10 days ago, he was in Syria. Before that, Mosul, Iraq. And we met him this week in Mexico City.
And I study how terrorist groups use the internet to radicalize and recruit.
Since the shooter went on a rampage in March, killing 51 people in Christchurch, New Zealand, Roberts devoted much of his time to studying how 3 mass shootings were connected all to this website. It's called 8chan.
8chan went from a bunch of disaffected, misogynist video game fans to outright neo-Nazis.
It's a place that users come freely to post what they want, including violent, anti-Semitic, racist, or pro-white nationalism images. Robert was among the first to find a connection between 8chan and the Christchurch massacre, the Poway synagogue shooting outside San Diego that injured 3 and killed 1 in April, and then the shooting in El Paso this last weekend. In each case, it appears the killers left either manifestos on 8chan or posted there before the killings. On 8chan, killing is likened to a video game where the phrase beating his high score refers to anyone who can kill more than the previous killer. The Christchurch killer live-streamed his bloodbath with a first-person point of view from his helmet cam.
There's a reason that the Christchurch shooter live-streamed his massacre for the people at 8chan. There's a reason that he put together a music list that was full of songs that were like related to in-jokes within that community.
On the website, users cheer on one another. They also talk about something that's called replacement theory. That is their concern that the white race could be totally eliminated as more and more people come from Mexico and other Central American countries.
It's this idea that white people are going extinct because of immigration. And I should state very clearly that it's completely untrue.
Years ago, their fears might have been considered irrational, but now sometimes posters feel legitimized, Robert says, by some recent tweets from politicians. Those include one by Senator John Cornyn of Texas, who posted a headline of a news article that read, "Texas gained almost 9 Hispanic residents for every additional white resident last year." His spokeswoman says he simply retweeted a headline. But then there's this from Representative Steve King of Iowa, when he tweeted, "We can't restore our civilization with someone else's babies." We reached out to King, and he has yet to respond. Robert says these messages can be every bit as dangerous as the ones ISIS or Al-Qaeda might send, and we should be treating extremists like organized terrorist groups.
I think it's just as dangerous, and I think the fact that there's closing in on 80 people dead in the last 5 months is all the evidence that you need of that.
When I saw the links to that manifesto, I was completely unsurprised.
University of Northern Colorado professor Cliff Leake says these groups know how to recruit, especially likening their missions to video games.
Especially for younger men who are, in their adolescence, a time where many of us test our boundaries. If we enter a space like that where we are suddenly anonymous and there's no one there to push back against that and say, no, that's unacceptable, and instead we're in a space where as we push those boundaries, we get celebrated for it, then it almost becomes like one-upmanship.
Robert predicts the shootings won't stop as the notoriety continues to build for these shooters.
Do you have concern that just by us talking about this and putting this on television, that it's going to somehow benefit these extremists?
I tried not talking about this. A lot of people tried not talking about this, and now dozens and dozens of people have been shot dead. So it's one of those things where I think I know what not talking about this looks like.
And Jace Larson joining us right now. And Jace, is there any talk of shutting this website down?
You know, even the guy who actually started this website and used to own it says it does need to be shut down, but it's hosted overseas, and that complicates things a little bit. We can tell you that the 8chan website has been really up and then down again and back up again since Sunday, but as of this morning, it was partially back.
All right, Jace, thank you.